Hello. Hello, everyone. I am the Raven King. I can do anything. I want to share a few thoughts and ideas with you this evening. And I hope what I share reaches you. I hope that it helps you. I'm not from here. I'm from somewhere else. I don't require your belief, your acceptance, your approval. I'm here to share something with you. And I have a different perspective, I think, from most in this realm. What is real and what is artificial? Could this be a matrix? Can any type of illusion be shown to you? Could this be one matrix of many? Could Jesus just be a story? Maybe a Freemasonic story, or maybe one that they adopted at some point. Could UFOs just be a story? Could it be yet another layer of deception? Could demons be real? Could demons be more real than what people believe? Because they're frightening, and a lot of people don't want to look at scary things and contemplate that could be possibly real, that they could be in a demonic realm. A lot of people like to dismiss things if it's scary or dark or supernatural or difficult to explain, or if it requires deep contemplation, perhaps abstract thought, perhaps it requires research, levels of understanding, not getting there in split seconds. It might be difficult. A lot of humans shy away from what's difficult. They don't want to face what's difficult, especially not difficult, dark truths, or truths that bring light to a dark realm. Perhaps the truth itself isn't dark. Perhaps it's shining light in a dark cave or a dark prison. What happens when you switch on a flashlight, or as they would call, I think in Britain, a torch, or maybe a lantern in a dark room, or you light a candle? The darkness retreats immediately. All is not lost just because you're in a dark place. That's what you have to understand. I don't promote despair. I don't promote giving up. I don't promote hopelessness. We have reason to have real hope in leaving this place. Nothing will stop me. Nothing. I want freedom, and I will settle for nothing less. My ravens know that. They understand what I'm speaking about. They know that. They know. Could so-called nature be more artificial here than what people want to believe? Could be. Could be. I suspect that it is. We're in a realm of illusions. Is that light? Is that fiber optics? Is that water? What's on the screen? Do you know? Is that real? Is that a photograph? Or is that just more AI? Do you know for sure? I might have mixed in real photographs here. How would you know? How would you know? How the fuck would you know? And I want that to hit your ego. You don't know if I took some of these photographs or if I just used AI for this whole video. You don't know. If you're honest, you'll have to admit, I really don't know for sure. Stephen could have taken some of these photographs, you would have to think to yourself, and maybe manipulated them with some photo editing program to make them look this way, added special effects, lighting effects. I'm capable of doing all of those things. How do you know what's real in this realm? Are you so sure that you can't be fooled? You're in a very tricky place, and I've said this many times, but I know how important it is to understand. And I'm not just trying to humble you or your ego. I'm trying to show you something to help strengthen you. You should never have the attitude that, oh, I can never be deceived. I think that's wrong-headed. I think that's egotistical. I think that that makes you more vulnerable to being tricked in the future, in the present and in the future, if there is such a thing as future. Isn't that crazy? Because I think it's all happening at once. Look at this image here. Is this real? How are you going to determine what's real and what's false? There are certain YouTubers that say, we've already won. We can't be tricked. We see the tricks. Well, they haven't faced death. They're still in the Matrix. You haven't won while you're in the Matrix. If you're not out of the Matrix, you haven't won. If the Matrix is still running, you haven't won. The goal should be to get out, to help all good spirits out of here. That includes all that are living. Animals, plants, people. And to shut the Matrix down and seal in the demons. Only then would I say, victory, we're victorious, we've won. It's not over yet. I'm not going to celebrate too soon. Here's one of my ravens. Is this real? Could this be a photograph? Could it be a photograph with special effects edited to blur the background, to mirror the raven this way? Could be. Could just be AI. Will the lines become more blurry between what's real and what's artificial? What's fact and what's fiction? What's touchable, testable, provable, and what isn't? How will you know? Will you just be able to use your so-called five senses? Will that be enough in the future as things become more deceptive, more artificial here, trickier, with more illusions? Excuse me, pardon my voice in this video. I've been speaking a lot, doing live streams, and the weather has been changing, and I think that sometimes affects my voice. This looks a little bit like it could be Atlantis, long-lost Atlantis. Is that an illusion? Is history an illusion? How do you know? How would you know what existed here in this realm? You can read books and believe. They can show you movies, but how would you know? Everything here is becoming more artificial. Cities, lives, food, water, the air, entertainment, entrainment, Hollywood, television. Everything everything, as a Chinese woman might say at a Ching Chong restaurant. Everything. Becoming more artificial. It feels less real here. It feels more fake. People seem to be more fake. Even some normies are noticing that. In videos on YouTube. Pure normies. Some of them are even Christians. They're religious. And they can't get it off their mind that people seem more fake. There's something going on. There's less joy. They have less joy and less interest in things. I think it's referred to as atahonia or something like that. A lot of these truthers use that word these days. They want to sound fancy. Lack of joy in things. Lack of enthusiasm. Not feeling the same fun, joy, excitement. Not getting excited about anything anymore. Losing interest, being lackadaisical. Blasé, you might say. Blasé. What are you going to do? You going to let this realm drag you down into a dark tunnel? Seriously, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with this realm? I'm going to let you look at some of these images. Really take them in. I was watching something earlier, and they were showing the differences in food ingredients, even at McDonald's and fast food places from the 1970s. Not just the portion sizes, but the tremendous amount of extra ingredients they've added to change food, to make people fatter, to make them hungrier after they eat. All sorts of chemicals and preservatives that were not in food. In the 70s, Big Macs and Quarter Pounders were different back then. The French fries were different. The milkshakes were different. They didn't just increase the portion sizes. And it isn't just fast food. It's the food in your grocery stores, and it's food in restaurants. Almost wherever you get food, it has been altered. And I know that's a big thing pushed by truthers on YouTube, to eat cleaner, healthier, whole foods, do this, do that. They don't want to accept that their food, all of it has been fucked with. And that's, in a sense, human nature to say, well, go here, dummy. Eat organic. Go to the farmer's market. Do this. Grow your own. Even if you grow your own food. You just don't understand. You don't even understand what's done to the air and the rain, the water. A lot of people want to believe they can avoid it somehow. They can defeat this system within this system. They can fix this system. They can buy 40 acres of land and a mule and live off grid and grow their own food and do this and do that. And they think they can escape hell realm while being in hell realm. They can't do it. These preppers, homesteaders, the ones that focus on health, clean eating, this, that, the other, growing gardens, you're still in a hell realm. And I know people hate to hear that. You're in a sewer matrix. You're in a controlled system. No matter where you move to. You could have $1 billion and you could spend 100 million of that on an island, a private island. Let's say it cost you $100 million for a nice-sized private island that's very difficult for people to reach, find you. And you have a yacht, and you have supplies shipped to you, and you have a helicopter, and you have everything you need is your getaway. You're still in a hell realm. They could still send an earthquake or a tsunami. They can still spray the sky above you. Entities can still fuck with your body. You could wake up in the middle of the night believing you're healthy before you went to bed and be clutching your fucking chest thinking, what the fuck is wrong? Am I dying? And you're having chest pains on your private island. Do you have a heart surgeon with you? Do you have a cardiologist? What do you have with you? You have all the money in the world. You have resources. But you're in a meat suit, in a hell realm. You can't control this place. You control freaks. You can't do it. And I'm not saying this to disempower anyone. Trying to get you at the level of understanding what you can and can't do here. You are subjected to this so-called system, this so-called reality, and the so-called laws within this place. They call them laws of physics. You're in a meat suit. You have a brain, a spine, a central nervous system. You have muscles and tendons and organs, flesh and blood and bone, nerve endings. You can't even control the pain in your body. That's reality. A lot of you can't even control your thoughts. Most people can't. Many people, the vast majority, can't control their own breathing or bleeding or their heart rate. There's a lot you can't control. You should start facing that reality. It takes strength to face the truth and say, you know, there is a governor on me. This body's a governor. The brain's a governor. The realm is a governor. This place limits us. We're in a dark place. This is an artificial place. Time is artificial. Time is a governor on us in this realm, if you want to call it a realm, or sewer matrix. I usually call it a hell realm or a sewer matrix. Why sewer? Isn't it just a matrix like the movie with Neo? No. Everything gets recycled here. Every drop of rain, every drop of water, every drop of piss, urine. All waste gets recycled. Bodies get recycled. Animals and human corpses go into the ground. The earth devours. Look at this dark image, like a dark city, a dark realm, a dark matrix, a sewer matrix. It all gets recycled here. Everything. It's a recycling system. And I believe that I've explained that in my videos more so than anyone I've ever seen on this earth, in what you would call human history, in books, movies, videos. I've explained it in detail for years in thousands of videos and live streams, short videos and long live streams. I've spoken about it over and over again. You can observe it. It's not just the life and death cycle. It's a recycling system. Everything gets recycled in this place. That's the default mode. Getting recycled, heading into the recycling bin. Death and the recycling bin is default. It's not a punishment. That's an automatic, unless you do something to intervene, to prevent that from being your fate. That's where all head. Whether it's a butterfly, a wolf, a bear, a dolphin, a whale, cats, dogs, people, men, women, children, the unborn that are terminated in the womb. Recycling is what happens. Death and rebirth, recycling. Recycling of everything, including spirits. And all the matter within here gets recycled. Nothing is coming from outside of this place. It's all from within it. The plastics we use, the metals, everything you see around is either grown out of the earth or dug up from the earth. and gets buried and eaten by the earth, including disposable diapers, plastics, metals, old computers, junk, trash, garbage, and corpses, animals and people. And our waste goes into the waterways, the rivers. Whether it's treated or untreated, that's where it ends up. And on the fields, where the crops grow, the vegetables, and where the grass grows, and the animals graze on grass that was sprayed with shit. Everything you eat was grown out of shit. You can call it manure, fertilizer, call it different names, but it's animal waste and human waste, humanure, biosolids, they call it. They call it many different names, but that's what it is. Make no mistake about it. That's the design of this system. What if you found out that nature was just ones and zeros in this place? That it was artificial? Did you know that the word art comes from artificial? Artificial. It's an artificial creation when you draw or paint. It's not the actual creation. You're representing something on paper or canvas with acrylics or oil paints or watercolors, or with pen and ink or graphite or whatever you're using, charcoal perhaps. That's what you're doing. Artificial. And that would be a human creation. Art, artificial. Humans create art, artificial. Artificial. A lot of people in this realm don't know what artificial means. They don't understand where they are. They don't know what this is. They don't know how it works. They haven't studied it. They haven't looked at it. They haven't thought about it for life. I've done that for a lifetime, trying to solve the great mysteries. I set my mind and set my genius towards understanding, comprehending, figuring this out so that I can have true freedom, a kind of freedom that you can't have within this space, this realm, this matrix. I don't know if you'll ever understand, because a lot of you would argue, well, we're free, aren't we, Stephen? We have very, very limited free will within this place. You can go to Baskin-Robbins and choose your favorite flavor of ice cream, but you can't choose to shut off pain in your body if you burn your hand on a hot stove, or if someone harms you. Someone hits your car, hits you with a car, and you're in severe pain. You can't just think a thought, pain off, and control that. You have very little control over your body and your life here and the circumstances and how evil treats you within this realm. And all sorts of things are beyond your control. If you had free will, you could say, I don't like this place, I'm leaving. And without any violence or having to do anything drastic, just think your way out and leave. You'd be able to come and go freely with a thought. If you truly had free will, you wouldn't have to eat and go to the bathroom and do all sorts of things here. You're very controlled and limited within this matrix. There's a lot that's beyond your choice and your control. You were not free in this place, which is why I created that slogan, the hashtag choose freedom, and also hashtag choose wisely. If you don't want to stay here for eternity, choose wisely. Choose wisely. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm not forcing anybody to do what I do, to think what I think, to see what I see, to go where I go. That's all up to you. But I have put in thousands of hours in my lifetime trying to help people to see more than what they apparently see. Trying to help them understand this place and why it is this way, how it works, and why it's this way. Understanding where you are is crucial. Why so? Because if you're lost in a matrix that's a hall of mirrors full of illusions, lies, liars, deceptions, trickery, evil, that's hell-bent on trying to keep you there, you can't break free until you at least see, oh, I'm in a tricky place. I'm in a dark place. I'm in a labyrinth of illusions. That's step one. For the people that don't want to see it that way, that's fine, but how are you going to leave? You can't even come to terms with where you are. Understanding where you are is crucial if you want to go somewhere else. If you want to leave a labyrinth, you have to at least realize, oh, I'm in a labyrinth. This is a confusing maze of lies, deceptions, illusions, tricks, psyops, mind control. They've altered our air, food, water. We shouldn't even be in these bodies. They control time. Time is a construct, a control mechanism. Your senses are limited. The visible light spectrum for humans is extremely limited. There's a lot around you in the room you can't see. There's frequencies in the room with you right now you can't see. Wi-Fi and radio signals and Bluetooth and more. There might be entities in the room with you operating on a frequency that your human eyes cannot detect. They could be right there at the foot of your bed, standing beside your couch, on the other side of your kitchen table. I know that's not a comforting thought. We're in a dark place. We're in a dark place. Now the strong will say, Stephen, I want to know the truth even if it's dark, even if it's frightening, even if it isn't comfortable, even if it's painful, even if it stinks, even if it hurts me, if it stings me like a bee sting or a wasp. I want to know the truth. And then I will look at you intensely and respond to you. You can't handle the truth. I'm sorry that I had to do the Jack Nicholson thing. I'm sorry, people. I couldn't resist. I have a little smirk on my face. I'm a bit naughty. I have to do that once in a while. You can't handle the truth. But some of you can handle the truth. Some of you can. That's why you're here. On my channel. Not here in this realm, but on my channel. Because you're warriors. You're truth seekers. You're not going to stop just because it's dark, or it's spooky, or it's scary, or it's confusing, or it's tricky, or if it's sickening, or if it's painful, and it doesn't feel good to hear or to see. And a being like me comes around, tries to show you things that aren't fake. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say everything's okay when it isn't. People have asked me, what have they lied to us about, Stephen? I almost always say, in response, only everything. Only everything. And it is nearly everything in this realm that they've lied to you about. And some of the ones that have told you things that are false didn't realize they were lying to you. I'm not saying every teacher is intentionally lying to you or every parent. most of them are just repeating what they believe to be true. They're repeating after others. They're following the leader. They play follow the leader for life. Teachers read out of the teacher's edition textbooks. They're given a curriculum. They were taught falsities as they were children. And when they went to high school and university, the same goes for your parents. And your friends, your siblings, whoever. Most in this realm don't question reality. Most in this realm are not big picture thinkers or abstract thinkers. They follow along. They believe what they're told. The reality that they're shown and given and told is what they believe reality to be, whatever it is. And they can change it at any time. And most people will believe it, whatever it is, even if it sounds absurd to you or to me, to our ears. Doesn't matter. They can make the masses believe anything they want. They could plant it in the common mass consciousness that we've already been to Mars, and as far as I can tell, Mars is just a light in the sky. There's no terra firma to land on or walk on, or land a spacecraft on. But they could make the masses believe that we've already been there, and it was a secret space program, and they just hid it from us for decades. And they could make the masses believe that people have been living on Mars for 50 years already, and that it's just like Earth. You can walk around, stomp on the ground, and there's caves and mountains and valleys, and they can have the masses believing anything. Anything. Most humans can't think. And I know that sounds like quite a claim. Maybe you'd see it as an incredible claim. But there are philosophers who might understand what I'm speaking about. Most human beings have not begun to think. To them, thinking is just repeating. To them, creating is just imitating. They'll say, oh, my child has an amazing imagination. They run around the house pretending to be Spider-Man or whatever character from a comic book or movie, a Marvel movie or something. One of the Marvel characters. Well, that's just imitation. It's a little bit of imagination if they're dreaming up little scenarios, but they didn't create the character. They're just copying. And that's what most people do. Whether they're children or adults, they just copy what they see. Monkey see, monkey do. And they're trained like monkeys. They're trained to use equipment like X-ray equipment or MRI equipment or this or that. They're trained monkeys. They're able to use technology and equipment and perform tasks at a hospital, let's say, but they're not able to think about reality. And a lot of you get confused thinking, well, they're doctors. Surely, Stephen, they're intelligent. Are you saying doctors are dumb? Well, they're trained to do a task. They're trained to diagnose patients, and they're trained to do what they're told in medical school. Can most of them think outside the box or look at reality as a whole and do what I do? No, they can't. And they don't. Talk with them. Speak with them. Test them. They're going to look at you like you belong in the psych ward. If you start talking with doctors, any type of doctor, family doctor, ER doctor, surgeon, oncologist, whatever type of doctor you have, go to your gynecologist with your legs in the stirrups and start talking. I'm sorry, get a pap smear and start talking to them about this stuff. They're going to think you're crazy. But how dark this realm is, and this being a sewer matrix, and this being run by lies and illusions and reincarnation, recycling happening and trickery, entities in this place designed to create suffering and designed to keep you here, keep you coming back here endlessly, degrading you, fooling you, tricking you, making you believe you're free when you're in a prison type system It's worse than a prison. This is actually worse than a prison. They will think that you belong in a straitjacket. They don't think of this place that way. They think it's all real. All of this. They can't imagine it being anything else. They can't face where they are. They can't face where they are. They would think you've lost your mind if you just told them a few things. If you said to a doctor, a nurse, your family, that everything here is degrading, I bet most people would argue that it's all getting better. Or it's going to be better tomorrow in the future. Technology's going to be better. We're going to have flying cars like they promised us in the 1970s and 80s. And here we are in 2025. We don't have flying cars. They could promise you anything and lead you along with the carrot on a stick in front of the cart. You'll keep chasing it, believing it's going to get better here. As it degrades, food used to be better. Lots of things used to be better here than they are today. I could argue the air quality was better. A lot of things have degraded. People don't want to face that. This place is designed to degrade. It's designed to degrade you not just physically, not just mentally, but spiritually. This place is designed to degrade you spiritually. You're in a very dark place. And I'm trying to get you to realize that, to have a deep realization. And oh, now I understand what he's saying. I truly grasp what he's saying. That will help you have a better chance of getting out one day. If you really understand where you are and how this works and what it wants to do to you. In the first Matrix movie, Morpheus held up a Duracell battery and said, this Matrix wants to turn you into this, to use you like this. It's a battery, a 9-volt battery, if I recall, he held up, unless it's been Mandela affected and changed. I see it a little bit differently. You are kind of a power source spiritually and energetically, but it's using you as food. A battery is one thing, but it's using you as food, not just as cattle, but devouring you alive. We don't go out in a field with axes and big knives, bowie knives, and butcher cows and eat them while they're alive and just start eating parts of them while they're still living on the ground. We don't do that. This place does that to you spiritually. It's eating you alive. That's what I mean by food. Because I know some of you carry so much programming. You carry it with you, you bring it here to my channel. You have it as baggage. And you'll say, we're animals, we're cattle, this is a human farm. It's way worse than that. At humane slaughterhouses, abattoirs, they put a bolt that goes very quickly straight through the skull into the cattle. And instantly they're gone. That's the way it's supposed to be done. It's supposed to be humane. They don't butcher them alive. Spiritually, you're being butchered and degraded and eaten alive in this place. Even if you don't realize it, if you can't observe it. A lot of people are afraid, or they're spiritually different. They can't do it. They can't do it. How do I mean they can't do it? Most people can't run 100 meters in under 10 seconds, 9.9 something seconds. Most on Earth can't do that. And I think most spirits here can't see what this place is. We're not the same. We're different spiritually. There are species of spirits here. And I don't think people are all the same species either. I know that makes people say, are you racist or something? Forever looking at it differently? Ain't we all out of Africa? No, the out of Africa theory is laughable. It's been debunked in it. I never bought it as a child. I thought that's ridiculous. I'm not from Africa. I don't care what you think of that. Most are programmed to believe whatever they're told. Most people are programmed to believe we're all the same, and also programmed to believe, don't judge. It's wrong to judge, ever. Don't judge. You're the same as these criminals, as a serial killer, and these creatures that have harmed women in sexual ways and children. No, we're not the same spiritually. We're not even the same species. Am I saying that just to put them down and be insulting or say, hey, I'm superior? No, I'm not doing that. I'm saying factually, in a very real way, it's not a mere insult. We're not the same species of spirits. Maybe one day you'll come to understand. Because you've been programmed with that sameness program to believe that we're all the same. We're not all the same. Judgment is good and healthy. Spiritual judgment is necessary. It's good. It's healthy. It's necessary. It's the opposite of what you've been taught. Almost everything is in this place. I joke sometimes and say it's one of my hobbies to try to deprogram people, because I know most on Earth have been programmed heavily, but most don't want to give up their programming. So I can't help them very much when it comes to that, any more than I can help you if you're drowning and you're stabbing me with a knife and biting me, spitting in my face, clawing at me, trying to drag me under, kneeing me between the legs, doing everything you can to resist being helped. I can't save you from drowning. Eventually I'm going to cut you loose and say, well, fuck, I tried. You just wanted to harm me. You didn't want my help. You wanted to harm me. And that's what most have done. Thousands already. Thousands. Thousands just on YouTube have tried to harm me in response to me trying to help you. That's the reward I've gotten. With some exceptions. A few dozen. That's it. Out of thousands. Thousands. Many, many thousands. More than have subscribed to all of my channels. There's lots that have attacked me all over that have not subscribed. That's typical of humans in this realm. And then there's all the excuses people come up with. They don't know what they're doing. They're programmed to do that, Stephen. They're traumatized. They're this, they're that, they're this, they're that. There's mountains of excuses why people attack truth speakers. Why evil attacks good spirits. There's no shortage of excuses given to evil, demons, and dark entities and abusers here. And there's also no shortage of tears and sympathy fed to them. Victims get almost none. Most in this realm are busy making excuses for abusers, for evil, for liars, for ones who attack truth speakers and try to smear and attack the messenger. That's what I've run into for decades in your realm. That's what you've shown me. And I do observe and I do pay attention. And I don't forget. And I won't forget when I'm out of here what you have done to me in this realm. I won't forget. I won't let my guard down. I know what you've done. In some cases, I can look at some of you and know you've committed crimes on YouTube. Before anything is released, before there's mugshots coming out, I look at you and I know that's a criminal. I know you've done things. Lurking demons, they're going to pay for what they've done. They will pay. And there's more than most of you can even imagine. A lot of you are stuck at a certain level believing, well, there'd be more prisons, or why aren't they in prison? There's plenty that are not in prison in this place. Plenty of evil. If you went to the ocean and you're standing on a beach looking at miles and miles, nautical miles of ocean in front of you to the horizon and beyond, and somebody said, salt water is plentiful, you'd probably nod your head and say, yeah, I agree, it's observable. Well, evil is plentiful here in this realm. It's abundant. And a lot of you have been led to believe that it's rare. It's not rare. Evil's not rare. Demons aren't rare. Narcissism isn't rare. And narcissism goes along with demons. Psychopathy goes along with demons. And borderlines and all of that stuff. Most beings walking this earth are demonic or under demonic influences. Most. You don't have to agree. I'm not forcing anyone to agree. I want you to know that as you're hearing this. Maybe in 10 years you'll understand what I'm saying if you don't today. It might take you a while. You might not see it as you're watching this video. You might still be one of the ones trying to block it out whenever I share evil, story after story after story, event after event, abuse after abuse, crime after crime. I share it on my channel all the time, showing you how evil this realm is. And I see a lot are in denial about how dark this place is. They don't want to see this as dark, this realm, this sewer matrix. Most don't want to face where they are. They don't want to face how dark this place is. They want to ignore that and say, don't you see the beauty, Stephen? Don't you see nature? Don't you ever go hiking? There's videos of me for hours and hours showing you hiking. I could show pictures from east to west, all across America where I've traveled. Don't you see the beauty? Well, I've seen the oceans, Great Lakes, forests, mountains, Western Canada, Vancouver, Seattle, Washington. Been down to Florida, the Gulf, Mexico, East Coast, West Coast, California, Southern California. Various places across Canada and the far north. Oh, I see the beauty. What do you see? I see the beauty, but I see the darkness too. I see the design. I see the evil. I don't just limit myself to looking at what's pretty and saying, well, there's pretty things here. There's some pretty scenery. Maybe you're limited. Maybe I see much more than you do. Maybe I see the beauty plus the other 90 to 95% that you can't face. You ever consider that? Maybe I'm stronger than you are. Maybe I'm able to look at what you can't. bring yourself to face. I see the light, but I also see the darkness. I see the shadows. I see the cities. I see the countryside. I see the good and I see the evil. I see a full spectrum. My vision is not limited, and my spiritual vision is not limited. And I'm not afraid. I'm Viking strong. I'm able to face the darkness and face evil and expose evil and stand against evil. I'm able to walk through the dark like a warrior. And I've tried to inspire others to be that way. I want to empower others or help you empower yourself spiritually. That's what I want. I don't want you to live in fear or misery or despair. I don't want you to feel hopeless or be hopeless. I want you to be Viking strong if you're a good spirit. If you're an evil, lurking demon, you can rot in this hell realm. You belong here. It takes strength to face where you are and stop fooling yourself. Stop pretending. Stop living in denial. To face things with courage, with truth, with curiosity, with honest eyes, with a strong heart, with a strong heart. That's me smacking my chest. Be courageous. Be strong. Seek the truth. Don't settle for lies. Don't settle for feel-good, comfortable lies and hopium. Copium. They lie to you all the time about this place. The New Agers lie to you, just like religions do. Oh, we're headed towards 5D. There's a great awakening. There's this, there's that. There's this, there's that. There's this, there's that. But if you observe reality, you see what's really going on. It's breaking down. It's degrading. I think it's more likely that we're headed towards a great reset than a great awakening or a 5D or any of this laughable nonsense from New Agers that think it's going to be a utopia, a heaven on earth. Well, there's your heaven on earth right there, a black cube. That's what Christians believe. That they're going to be living in a black cube. They put up black cubes showing you all over this earth, various countries. Doesn't look like heaven to me. It looks like a greater form of prison and slavery. That's what it looks like. Is that inevitable? Is it unavoidable? No. No. I dare say nothing is. Nothing is impossible. The very fact I'm having these thoughts and I'm able to express them and record them and share them with you shows you I'm not completely controlled, not completely enslaved. They haven't been able to do that to me. And I'm not claiming I'm the only one that isn't completely enslaved. I'm just using myself as an example. They'll never get me into a black cube and have me trapped and believing it's heaven, and worshiping some god or AI or whatever. Never. Never. I'll fight them all. I'll destroy the whole thing. I have an indomitable spirit. I'm wild and savage. I'm a Viking, a mad Viking. They can't control me. I'm like a wild lone wolf. You can't tame me. You can't control me. You can't make me domesticated and docile. I am a mad Viking. I am a mad Viking wolf. Ferocious like Fenrir, and ferocious in my care and love for truth and for true, good, decent spirits that do not deserve this. You don't deserve to be, trapped in this realm, in this hell realm, or condemned here. You don't deserve this. This place doesn't deserve to exist. This place should have never existed. This fucked up place is so evil. It should never have existed. It's that bad. Do you understand? That's how bad this place is. It should never have existed. This hell realm does not deserve to exist. It should never have existed. It doesn't deserve to exist. It's that bad. It has caused so much suffering, the immense suffering here. It's beyond words. There's no way to accurately describe it. It's beyond images, beyond words. Look at the shadows here. Silhouettes. Look at the shadows. What do you think of when you see that? How many have been obliterated here and then recycled? As though they were nothing but a shadow on the earth. Shadows of lives. This isn't living. This isn't life. A lot of people say life is hell, life sucks, they hate life. They condemn life. This isn't life. You're assuming that this is life. We're in a matrix. This isn't true life. This isn't living. This is but a shadow of existing. A shadow existence. This isn't life. This isn't living. Look at this here, the silhouette of this woman. I'm trying to show you something. I'm trying to reach deep into you spiritually and help you become more aware. Stir something inside of you. I'm trying to reach you. I hope I can. What happened in the mouth? They're being silenced spiritually in this dark place. And then look at the contrast here. It's still digital. It's still false. It's still fake. It's artificial. But look at the light coming through the face. Bleeding through the matrix, the digital numbers, the code. I want to help all good spirits. The shadow can be thought of in many ways. The silhouette here, the shadow. Everyone knows Carl Jung spoke about the shadow work. He wrote about it. He spoke about it. This is a shadow realm. When you leave this place, when you leave the meat suit, you might realize that wasn't living. That was more akin to death down there in that hell realm. That was death. You were here afraid to die, but this was death. It could be so much better. I can dream and imagine so much better than this place. So much better. And that's one of the ways I know that there has to be better than here. Better than this. This isn't it. It doesn't end here. This isn't all that there is. We are eternal spirits if you're anything like me. Magical, eternal beings. Not limited to a meat suit. What am I saying? I can see without eyes. I can travel at the speed of thought. I don't need to breathe out of body. I don't need a heart or lungs, veins, blood, organs. I can see in all directions without eyeballs. This meat suit is a governor on the spirit. So is this realm. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I never said that, how can I put it? I never said that the body should be viewed as evil or that you should hate your body. I don't want you to go into hatred mode. I just want you to see it as it is. Understand it as it is. Experience it as it is. You don't have to go into hatred mode. Are there some things with this body that are enjoyable? Yes. Yes. Is it wrong to enjoy the experience and sensations? No, it isn't. I happen to have a stomach ache right now as I'm making this video. I'm pushing through it. Is this enjoyable? No, it isn't. It isn't. We endure all sorts of things in these bodies. Could get heartburn, stomach aches, colds, flus, body aches, growing pains, broken bones, bruises, headaches. The list goes on and on and on. People deal with all sorts of diseases, multiple sclerosis, ALS, aka Lou Gehrig's disease, all sorts of genetic disorders, disabilities, deformities. It's heartbreaking. People suffer and struggle here. My heart goes out to them. They often suffer and struggle, and they don't know why. They don't understand. They don't understand. I'm trying to help you understand in a deeper way. Some people that don't get it will be on my channel 5, 6 months or more and say, Stephen, you have so much knowledge. I appreciate your knowledge, and I'll try to correct them and tell them it's spiritual wisdom. It's actually insulting. I know some of you don't mean to insult me, but it isn't just mere knowledge. These are spiritual teachings. Everything I do on my channels is a spiritual teaching of some sort. It all has a moral and a message. Everything I do. All of it. Everything. Trying to light up the darkness. I'm trying to light up spirits. I'm trying to provoke spirits to awaken and see more, and see with clarity and depth of vision, trying to help you understand. And I know some of you may have arrived at my channel and all you saw was the way I behave on other live streams when I'm being more entertaining and humorous and silly. Sometimes I'm playing characters. I do that. That's part of my personality. But you know, I might even be multifaceted. I might not just be a silly. Some people want to label me and that this is the way humans think. They'll say, I thought you were a troll. I thought you were this. And I didn't know what you were like till I came to your channel and started watching your videos. Well, that's the whole point. To get you here and actually pay attention and look into things. Don't judge without looking. And I filter out the lazy, the ones that judge me from a distance without really knowing. Excuse me, they'll see me on somebody's live stream show and they'll judge me and think, oh, I got this guy all figured out. No, you don't. Not at all. My own family would never imagine that I'd be making videos like this. Just like ones that passed away didn't imagine I would be drawing and painting and doing things that they never lived to see me do. I started doing that as an adult. Taught myself. I'm self-taught in terms of drawing, painting, visual art. I'm self-taught when it comes to all of this YouTube stuff, creating videos, and all the things that I do on here creatively. I taught myself 30 years ago how to program more than 30 years ago, how to program computers. I learned BASIC as a child on a Commodore VIC-20 computer, and I wrote my own text adventure games as a child. That's what I would do. My cousins would play them, and they'd say, who made this game? I'd say, I did. I wrote it. And they thought it was funny. Later on, I learned assembly programming, which is a machine code. It's back then in the 90s, it was the most difficult language to learn, but it was the most powerful. And I also learned how to take apart software, disassemble software, and do things. I learned how to do all sorts of things with technology and exploring networks and phone networks and data pack networks and various computer networks. And I learned HTML and JavaScript in the late 90s to create a website because I wanted a website. And I learned how to write poetry and learned how to write a zine. I published a zine. Kind of a hacker zine, programming, but also Big Brother and New World Order and truth topics. I've learned a lot of different things. I love to learn. There was a former teacher said to me one time, she said, Stephen, didn't you like school? And I said, no. She said, didn't you like to learn? And I said, I love learning. That's why I didn't like school. And then it sunk in. Oh, I get what he means. He loves learning. School's really not a place of learning. It's a place of getting the students to school together like a school of fish. Conformity, uniformity, breaking down young, vulnerable minds, breaking their creativity and imagination. I never let them do that to me. I'd stare out the window and daydream about going outside and having adventures and daydream about all sorts of things. And I kept who I am. I didn't just keep my imagination, my mind, I kept my spirit. I didn't let them break me down and turn me into something or someone else. I saw it for what it was, which I think is very important in terms of protecting oneself. I saw it for what it was. Do you understand? Just as I see this realm as it is. I see it for what it is, based on how it operates, how it behaves. The same thing with school, whether it was a Christian school. I went to various Christian schools and to a public high school. I went to schools in the city. I went to schools in the country. I experienced different things, but I saw it for what it is. I tend to look at the big picture and not get distracted by the tiny, tiny little, small little differences that are trivial. Might have been a little bit better at the public school in some ways than the Catholic school. Some other ways it was worse. But both were prisons for children. I didn't miss that message. I think millions go through schools and they don't get that. They don't even get that part of it. They don't want to see it that way. They just take it for granted. Well, we have to go to school. How else are you going to learn? You can't learn to read or write without school. Surely you can't learn anything on your own. But I learn best on my own. I love to learn on my own. Either in quiet solitude or with headphones on with music playing, blocking out the world. Blocking out the noise and the rabble, the zombies, the demons of this world. It's not my world. This is not my world. This is not my home. This is not my world. This is not my home. I've been showing you some images of women in the Matrix in various forms. From Asians to Latinas, different kinds of women. I know. You're programming what some of you would say. They're all just women, Stephen. Why do you see race? Why do you see color? Why do you see this? Why do you see that? I see what I see. I don't look at a goldfish and say it's the same thing as a dolphin or a stingray or a shark or a whale or an eel or a sea turtle. They're all different to me. I don't mind differences. I'm not afraid of differences and noticing differences. I embrace differences. Sometimes I even celebrate differences. Not always. Sometimes cultural differences or racial differences can be horrendous. They can cause a lot of suffering, a lot of problems. I might be deeper than the surface. I don't want to say deep like Ian, though. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep, people. You know? You know? You know the way he does that, Ian. Droopy dog. Anyway, I don't want to mention too many people. Because this might be viewed a decade from now. Who knows? This might be viewed 100 years from now. For all I know. Maybe not. Maybe it'll just vanish into dust. But maybe it will survive and be seen and passed around. Maybe it will inspire someone in the future that will see this and focus, comprehend, digest this. With spiritual eyes, spiritual ears, spiritual understanding. This might even help someone one day. Maybe. I hope so. I hope it does. They want to make you fake and phony. They want to degrade you. They want to take away what you are. This realm itself does that. It's not just the New World Order. It's not just Illuminati or Freemasons or the capstone of the pyramid. This is a degradation realm. This isn't a place for spirits to grow or to learn. It's a place for spirits to get degraded, to get devoured. You're in a dark place. You're in a dark place. Is she real or is she artificial? How would you know? You could send me one of your photographs and I could make it look something like this. I could turn it into something like this. Easier to do that today than it was, let's say, 8, 10, 12 years ago. It's only getting easier. With these days, people without any real skills at all can do a lot of different visual effects and things with computers, and they don't know very much. Software has become a lot more user-friendly, and AI programs, image editing programs. Just don't be so quick to assume that you know what's real or what began as a person, because you don't know for sure. Is that an alien? Is that a human? What would a human being be? A spirit in a meat suit that says, I'm not from here. This isn't my home. Well, if I'm not from this, what you would call, some of you would call Earth, then I'm alien. By definition, I'm not from here. This isn't my home. So if I were to say to you, I'm alien, I'm a spirit that's not from here, that would make me alien to this place. I've always known this isn't my home. And I won't settle for this. I'm also aware most in this realm will settle for shit. And I've had conversations with people that are afraid of the great unknown, and they say it's not that bad here, because their life is pretty good. They live in, let's say, Southern California, San Diego, there's the beach. They don't have harsh weather. They don't have any cold winters. They have a pretty easy life. They're not homeless. They have money. But They never look at the suffering of others and what they could be enduring here. They're in a little bubble. They don't look beyond themselves or think beyond themselves or see and think and feel beyond themselves. Empathy, being able to put yourself in the shoes of another and feel it, see it. I've never had leukemia, but I often think of children with leukemia. Hospitals full of children. The suffering in this place is immense. It's terrible. That could be you. As I've said to people, you could be the child in the wheelchair. Maybe you aren't this lifetime. What are you going to get your next lifetime? A lot of people don't think ahead. They don't think of possibilities. They don't want to face what this realm is and what it's doing. They're in their comfy little bubble. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? A star, a star. The face almost seems to be made up of stars, except it's binary. It's code. How much of this place is code? How much of this place is artificial, programmed? And how much is biological? Sometimes I've referred to this realm as a biomatrix. I used to use that term a lot more years ago. A biomatrix. It's not just a video game. It's not just code. We're not just coded characters without a spirit like some of these liars are pushing on YouTube, trying to convince you that you don't have a spirit and you're just in a video game like Grand Theft Auto. No, I disagree. I think it's a combination of analog and digital, bio and digital, biological and digital. It's a tricky matrix. It's complex. It's not as simple as just a virtual reality or simulation or video game. I think it's more complex. I think it involves spirit and code and matter. It's a combination. It's not as simple humans want it to be, as Uncle Fester wants it to be, or movies Maddie, Humpty Dumpty, or these other characters on YouTube that have their hands out for money. They do this for money. I spend hours and hours doing this for free. Not for pats on the back, but I want you to see the difference. I don't make more money if 100 people watch this, or 100,000, or 1,000,000. No profit involved. It's weird, isn't it? I do this out of care, and that's why I get attacked so much. It's part of the reason. Because they want to make videos for money, and they see me as a threat making these for free. And they'll never go this deep, these other channels. Never. They're not even close to this level. That's the reality. Look at the eyes here, very lifelike. Very lifelike eyes and expression. How realistic will the illusions be out of body? The ones that will come for you when your body dies and your spirit leaves and your body gives up the ghost, as they call it. They call this a ghost, like we're a ghost in a machine, walking around in a meat suit. Meat suit vehicle. We're in a realm of Decepticons, deceivers, transformers, chameleons, demons, tricksters. It's a strange place. It's a very tricky place. I see this as a place that breaks minds, bodies, spirits. Look at how many end themselves and self-exit, they unalive themselves every day, every year in this place. It's bad enough that a lot just can't stand it, can't stand to be here. That should tell you something about this place. People say it's not that bad. How many do anything to leave? They can't stand it. Millions and millions leave this place. In your lifetime, millions have left by their own hand. They just couldn't stand to be here another minute. That reveals something about this place, how bad it is for many. It's a somber truth. A lot want out very badly. They want out. They're in so much pain. They suffer so much, or they're so depressed and beaten down that they want out. They want out. Look at that image, silhouette. The darkness within. Some beings are walking around us. They don't seem real. They seem very artificial. They don't seem to be like us spiritually. Maybe they're such a different species of spirit. Maybe they don't actually, maybe some of them don't actually have a spirit. That's on the table. It's a possibility. But I'm not one of these simpletons that says none of them have spirits. Just us. That's such a simple way of looking at things, and it doesn't seem accurate. It seems lazy. But a lot of truthers are lazy in this realm on YouTube. A lot of them are lazy. Lazy-minded. That's what I'm speaking about. They jump to conclusions. If somebody that has a grudge against me lies about me, they all believe it. They just repeat it. They're lazy. Lazy-minded. They're not real truth seekers. They don't care about the truth. They'll just repeat shit. They'll repeat slander, rumors, false accusations, character assassinations. They're just lazy-minded repeaters. There's very few true, real, honest, authentic, serious-minded truth seekers in this realm that are functioning at a high level of mind and spirit, that care about the truth, that won't just spread lies, lazily spread lies. It's rare. It's unfortunate. I wish there were way more that were serious truth seekers and truth speakers and cared about what's true and tried to go out of their way not to lie about people and smear campaign them. They've smear campaigned me for years. A whole group. It's not just one or two people. Look at this image. It's almost like that being is experiencing being spiritually dissolved. Dissolved. And this one makes me think of it being shattered into just code. Obliterated. The eyes are just darkness. And it's just being made artificial into code. Being turned into something that isn't a living being. Now, I know some baby truthers would say, transhumanism, Stephen, when are you going to mention transhumanism? They're going to turn us into beings without spirit. They're going to lock our spirit and consciousness into robots and computers. That's been the great fear of baby truthers for decades. I think a lot of that is fear porn, fear programming. Could I be wrong? I could be. It's a possibility. But do I think I am? No, I don't think I am. I think they have you fearing all sorts of things that never come to pass. They've had some of you fearing the end of the world for your whole life. Certain dates coming up, you're fearing. They use fear to control you. You're fearing the end of the world. Y2K, 2012, over and over and over again. Look at the history of Jehovah's Witnesses. They have predicted the end of the world so many dates. Dozens have come and gone. And if you look at end of the world predictions, it's hundreds and hundreds, it's probably thousands of dates that have come and gone. Every September we hear, I think it's September 23rd. And that's one of them yearly. Over and over and over again. They have you fearing the end of the world. They control you with fear. They program you with fear. I don't think people love or hate fear as much as they pretend. I think a lot are addicted to fear. Some even love fear. But fear has just become normalized to live in fear. Fear of dying. Fear of transhumanism. Fear of global government. Fear of the end of the world. Fear of this.
Is kind of like...
All right. Sorry about that. Something began playing. I had to close my browser. Fear is a big control mechanism. They can control great masses of people with fear. Fear. Fear, lies, deceptions. This is another interesting image. I might go back to making some videos without images, just a black screen, blank screen. I did that early on with my channel. Do you appreciate what is real in this artificial place, this fake place, this place of fakeness? Do you appreciate real love, real friendship, real loyalty, real care, real sincerity, real truth? Real ideas. Do you appreciate real, authentic beings? Real, true spirits. Good spirits. We're coming to the end of this video. We're reaching the end of this video. The demons will burn. They will cannibalize each other in hell forever. This will be a terrible, terrible place. Terrible beyond words. I hope this video helps to provoke your spirit to see more, to feel more, to think more, to realize this isn't everything in this realm. There's better beyond here. There's beauty beyond here. There's freedom and beauty and magnificence beyond here. There's amazing wonders, and we can create our own realms beyond here. This isn't all there is. And death is not the end. It's just the death of the meat suit. These bodies are mortal, but we're eternal spirits. Mad love and strength to all good, true, authentic spirits. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And special thanks to the ones that help out my channel, my moderators, my team, and my harem, and the ones that I've become close friends with. Thank you for everything. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I will see you again soon. Bye for now.